Aquarius, Aquarius, how are you doing, Aquarius? So my name is Jared Walters. This is a video series I like to call it Red Dragon Readings because it's readings from the heart and soul of Wales, which is where I happen to be from. This is for Aquarius for July 2024. And this is a tarot reading, a message from the angels, a message from Spirit. What's coming up for July? What do we need to focus on, Aquarius? What are Spirits showing us? And I do hope this resonates with you. It's not going to resonate with every Aquarius because there's different cusps and different things. But I'm hoping it is going to resonate with some of you, or at least those of you that need to hear this message today. So we are going to draw a few cards from our pack. We are using the Angel Tarot pack today, and we may even use some moon cards if we are feeling up to it. Oh, we've got the Nine of Water. This is about wish fulfillment. Things coming true, release. Okay. And the Wheel. Right. Okay. So what's going on here? What's going on here? This is some major shifts and interesting things going on here. Right. Okay. So we're gonna bring them back a second. Turn them back over. Right. Okay. So a wish comes true this month, Aquarius. But I also feel that as it's a case of a wish coming true, it's also a case of be careful what you wish for. Because though this feels like a light at the end of the tunnel, I do feel, right, first of all, the energy that I'm feeling around you, right, is a breakthrough, right? It's a breakthrough in understanding. I feel this has to do with personal relationships. I feel this has to do with life goals. I feel there could be elements of family, but I'm more drawn to the home, family, relationships side of life than I am about the work, doing things, money side of life, right? So this is surrounding the connections that you have with different people, okay, around you. This is to do with the connections that you have with home and family life around you. This is to do with connections that you have with the things that you love. Okay, so that could be people, that could be activities, the things that bring love and joy into your heart. Okay, there is a kind of cathartic moment that I believe is going to happen in July where you will start to understand a greater sum of the whole than of what you've been seeing over the past few months. Now, when I'm kind of looking back and tracing this energy back here from this wish, there's been a lot of mundania in your life in the last few months, maybe this last year. There's a cycle of having to focus on very few things. You have not had the luxury of looking at the bigger picture. I feel like you've been dealing with some difficult situations and you're having to steer those situations the best you can. And it feels a little bit like you've been lost at sea, right? That you don't quite know how to move down or through this journey, but you're kind of like rowing this boat, right? Feels like you're rowing this boat and you're kind of in the middle of the ocean. You're like, how the hell did I get here? You've ridden the rapids. You've basically found yourself at the mouth of the river and you've gone out to sea and you're in the middle of the ocean. You're like, am I lost? But you're going to start to see land in the distance. You're going to start to see that certain actions that you have had to do in the past are now starting to pay off. And this is going to start making your life easier. In order for that to happen, though, there has to be a release. You have made sacrifices. But because you have made these sacrifices, they have moved you forward in ways that you maybe haven't quite recognized yet, right? Because that's to come. Because you've been knee deep in this kind of situation that's been around you. I feel that there is a spark awakening within you, Aquarius. You have something you need to give, right? And this is going to start coming up in the latter couple of weeks of July, where you're going to start reflecting on the past, and maybe there's going to be an event where something happens, or this could just be the culmination of events that have already transpired, okay? But there's this huge release of energy happening in the middle of July, and it's going to move you forward. But initially, it might feel like a setback, and this is where I kind of get like how wishes sometimes come true, but be careful what you wish for. And I feel like it comes back to that idea of change is neither good nor bad. It depends on how you look at it. There are benefits to be found here, right? So for some of you, this could be the breakdown of a relationship, right? This could be the ending of a relationship. This could be something, a person stepping back from your life, okay? And you're like, well, I didn't wish for that. But what you perhaps wished for was to be more free. Perhaps you wished for, a lot of pain that you and this person have been going through to stop. Perhaps you feel, so it's kind of a bit like that. It's a kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. But also, some of you may experience it that way. Others of you will experience it more of a revelation. And that revelation could be something as simple as I need help, right? And being able to see and find where that help has come from. Where is that help available? However these events transpire, they are actually going to move you forward. And they're going to move you forward in a positive direction. It might not feel like it. This is why I keep getting this kind of this euphemism of the wolf in sheep's clothing. It might not feel like it's moving in a positive direction, but ultimately that's where it's going to end. Because of the gifts this is giving you. Because of the opportunities the recent months and years have actually given you. Okay? And some of those opportunities may have felt like burdens. But the lesson that you have learned from bearing those burdens will transmute into a different approach, a different way of looking at things that's going to move you forward. It's going to help you open up so you allow relationships to be more fruitful in your life. That you maybe can find out, right, okay, yes, that was a difficult situation, but I let my guard down. And I realised it was okay to let my guard down, because by letting my guard down, I allowed other people to come in and help me. And that's where the blessings have come. Does that make sense? So it's like, if, say, for example, for some of you, it's a relationship breakup, you start to, although the breakup can be very difficult, you start to realise how many friends you have around you. You start to realise, people that you may have helped in the past will come in and say, okay, that relationship is over, but look at these other relationships that you have around you that relationship was blinding you to, or that you couldn't focus on that these other things that are going on in your life that were changing, that were transmuting around you. And now that certain things have left your life, you can see it from a different perspective. So this again, it could be a job, it could be any other job. Perhaps you've been a bit of a workaholic and you've got a little bit of a nest egg and you kind of decided to step back for a while, and you realise just how much of your, your emotional, your physical, your pleasure, the life that you enjoy, going on holiday or spending time with friends. Perhaps you haven't had a chance to do that, and you're realising just how much you missed it. Do you see what I mean? So this is kind of like this is wish fulfillment, is the ending of something difficult, but also Spirit asking you to not look at this in the way that you would normally look at it. To try and be more broader with the way that you are approaching things. And you might feel, it's going to feel like a setback, right? There's no two ways around it. And it feels awful saying this, right? But it feels like something this month is going to feel like a setback, right? So don't jump to assumptions, right? Because work with what you have in front of you. If this reading is resonating with you, right, perhaps come back to it in the middle of July, right? Or perhaps we'll come back to it together and we'll look at it and we'll see, okay, this is what was said for the beginning of July. Let's see where you are now at the middle of July, right? Don't jump to conclusions here, because I feel that it won't be what you guys think it's going to be, right? It might be something out of left field. It could be like, because you haven't been around, you haven't noticed something is going on around someone close to you, and perhaps they lash out at you. And you think, oh, hold on a second, I've been doing this, and this. I'm sorry, but you haven't been able to help that person. You might have helped that person in the past, and now they're like, why can't you help me now? But I've got other things going on. I'm sorry. I've got to take care of myself. It's okay for you to actually step back with this release here and take care of yourself. That's fine. You have to do that to move forward. Where this breakdown happens and where it feels like it might be difficult, there are happy times ahead. The universe hates a void. And sometimes we can't see past a certain situation that's been the status quo for a great deal of time within our lives. Okay? But what you also find sometimes is when those situations come to an end, other things open up. Because life is fluid. Life is not solid. Things are constantly moving and shaking. So I'm going to kind of climax this now with a moon card reading. To give you kind of the final thoughts. There's a lot kind of in here to think about. And the way I kind of work, is very kind of intuitive, and sometimes it can feel a bit disjointed, and I'm kind of working on that, as I move forward when I'm working with a more general audience. When I work obviously with a person I'm working directly with their energy, you can focus on a lot more, but I'm kind of trying to give enough that all of you can sort of see where I'm kind of coming from and get this sort of general point of where I'm coming from. This is definitely a time for healing, right? But once you start to embrace that healing, you're going to see a different you. So be bold and make the first move. So there you go. I think that message basically outlines itself pretty beautifully as it does. It's a time for healing. Show the world the real you. Be bold and make the first move. I'm going to leave that there, Aquarius. Thank you very, very much for joining me for this video. I hope that resonated with you. I will be doing further readings as we go through the month of July, looking into the rest of 2024. So I hope you do find that interesting. And I also offer private readings, both in video and sort of face-to-face. We're not face-to-face, but over the phone, over the internet, on the old website, which is found in the description below. I'm Jared Walters. Thank you very, very much indeed.